When we put the ending of DLC Blood and Wine playing The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt alongside the emphasis of the CD Projekt Red on starting a new epic in the Witcher series, starring The Witcher, it seems almost obvious that Geralt from Rivia is not going to be the main character in this episode. Whether we like it or not, fans have quickly moved on to speculate about the protagonist of the new game of Witcher. Before we go into more detail, without compliments, it should be remembered that our official fictional information about the new The Witcher is really summarized into the three key elements present in this image. Snow, the sentence, a new saga begins, and a modality designed based on the appearance of the links. So what you're hearing below, you shouldn't take it any more seriously than theorizing. Here are just 3 options for the main character of the game that the creators might want to go for. Don't forget that the Witcher game is making CD Projekt Red Studios doesn't even have a release date, and we don't know when it's going to be released. Undoubtedly, for many fans, after Geralt, Ciri can be considered one of the most popular characters, a character with special powers whose experience of playing a role instead of her in parts of Witcher 3 is well represented in how much gameplay affects her abilities. She does not use the magic of the badge and does not go to drink potions. Consequently, if the combat system is designed with a complete focus on Ciri's character, the new Witcher gameplay will automatically be very different from previous games in the series. At the same time, the constructive team must take numerous correct steps to create challenges for Ciri and bring various combat systems into battles. Finally, it is not clear to anyone that the gameplay of The Witcher 3, when the gamer was controlling Ciri, seemed fairly simple and in detail compared to the original experience, so that it certainly can't be a very long and complete game based on that. In the meantime, some might say that the existence of different endings for the character in The Witcher 3 prevents her from becoming the main character of the new game. But we don't know how much CD Projekt wants to respect all the storylines created by the player's choices. Isn't it not that in The Witcher Curse of Crows, comic created in collaboration with CD Projekt Company and Dark Horse Comics, we practically saw Ciri in the storyline, continuing to live as a Witcher. It is not impossible for the new Witcher game to consider one of the endings of The Witcher 3 as the main storyline, and the story will continue from there. Given the fact that in Cyberpunk 2077, each gamer builds their own V-character, it's not surprising that the option of designing a Witcher by the player in the new The Witcher game is on the table. Suppose you are tasked with choosing gender, race, appearance, school, basic abilities, and even points about the main character's past. The idea seems really exciting in some ways, because many like to think of themselves as the protagonists in deep role-playing experiences. However, it cannot be denied that one of the fundamental differences between the Witcher series and similar top video games is precisely the level of character-drivenness, inexaggerate defined protagonist characterization that can behave differently and at the same time his original identity is constant. So maybe even if we don't see any familiar characters in the role of the protagonist, some would still prefer to make the CD Projekt itself a new Witcher and bring us with his story. By the way, if each gamer was going to make the character of his or her own in this new game, the first official image of the game would not have to draw enough attention to a particular medallion. The medallion quickly reminded everyone of the Link School, an informal school in the world of Witcher that only came into being in the heart of fans' fiction. Why don't we see the medals of the different schools of Witcher in the official picture? Why don't we see the medallion of one of the official schools present in the books and games? When you read the history of the formation of the Link School, you might guess that CD Projekt is going to put us in the role of which character is at the center of the new epic of the Witcher world. However, one of the great advantages of creating a new Witcher by the player, for the game makers should not be forgotten. The closer we are to the previous version of the Witcher game in terms of location and time in the new The Witcher game, and for every familiar character we see in the story, it becomes harder for the CD Projekt to respect every single storyline in the series. So if the constructive team wants to respect all the player choices in Witcher 3 and doesn't consider any fictional scenario to be private as the main story, perhaps the only way is to distance yourself from all the familiar characters. In the heart of informal stories written by fans who continue a particular storyline from The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, the Link School is founded in 1273 under the command of Lambert, while Joel, Gideon, Dragonfly and Kira Metz accompany him. The Wolf School is almost gone, and everyone knows that the Cat School has gained a very bad reputation due to the various adventures that have occurred. But Lambert, who wants to keep alive the legacy of his close friend Aidan from Cat School, along with other characters, manages to retake the convoy belonging to this Witcher School, the Dine Marv Convoy, which is practically the mobile training center of the Cat School. After taking control of the situation, Lambert seeks respect from other schools. So the school changes the cat to the lynx school. Given that he himself used to belong to the wolf school, some fans practically look at the lynx school as a combination of cat school and wolf school. In 1290, the lynx school, according to the fan fiction, reaches a position that gains the trust and respect of many other school-owned witchers. The focus of its members on fast-paced combat, flexible armor and relatively light weapons suitable for successive attacks has given them a special identity. But no doubt the lynx school wickers are better known for not having a fixed training place and living in a caravan. That's why when the Western continent, when it comes to attracting people's attention in 1310, the lynx school's witchers go there faster than their colleagues and rivals to stand up to various monsters. While Eskel appears to have moved east after the events of Kaer Morhen, we can see during fan fiction that Lambert's journey west along with Keira Metz was the beginning of many adventures. This story puts a few familiar characters in new and special situations if they are truly accepted by the creators of the new game Witcher. By choosing the right time frame, creators can make themselves comfortable answering many questions tied to audience choices in game Witcher 3. In the meantime, we just need to know a few general scenarios, such as the survival of Keira Metz and her companionship with Lambert as the main storyline of the series, and then the CD Projekt will only be busy with his own storytelling. Geralt of Rivia is so special and popular character that in any case, it seems almost impossible to find an alternative. At the same time, Witcher is full of characters that players love on a variety of levels. So maybe if the weight of the new protagonist character falls on the shoulders of a few characters, we're going to face some exciting things. Suppose Lambert, Ciri, Eskel and even Keira Metz themselves can be controlled in different parts of the game. Not only logically and from the perspective of different characters, we can break down very different parts of the world, but the diversity of gameplay is also facing a serious increase. For example, Keira Metz's sections are completely focused on the magic going forward. Since we've entered full speculation and are merely imagining the different paths facing the game of The Witcher under construction, you might want to know that long after the establishment of the Lynx School, its Witchers also use guns to bury and blood the monster.